Hello, Woods people, and welcome back to Woodswoman Wildcraft. It's your friends Adria and Jess.
Hello.
Hello. And we're back with another taste testing video. This is actually part 7 of the Carolina 5-Spice series. If you've been following the channel, I started a series of shorts a couple of months ago where I was exploring wildcrafted spices. So I actually got the idea because I was doing a video on American Beautyberries and somebody compared their flavor to Chinese 5-Spice. And I got started thinking about, well, what are spices native to the Carolinas? And what could we use to create a Carolina 5-Spice blend, something that really captures the essence of this place, North Carolina. We're here in the United States, in Gaston County, North Carolina. And I've been a forager for many years, most of my life. And for the past few years, I've been managing a 3-acre permaculture project here in North Carolina. And I grow most of these spices. Actually, all of these spices came from the property here in Gaston County. These were just the 5 that I had access to. There are plenty of others I could think of that I would add to this list moving forward. But by definition, a spice is, in comparison to an herb, which is the leafy part of a plant, a spice is usually the dried parts of like the seeds, the roots, the berries, that kind of thing. And it imparts some kind of volatile oil that will give you a spice that will, give you some flavor for your food. So it's not meant to be like the main food itself. It's the thing that gives the food flavor. So the 5 spices that I came up with were Virginia pepperweed, juniper berries, which is eastern red cedar here in North Carolina, beauty berries, which was the inspiration for the whole thing, the Monarda seeds, which is bee balm, which is those really spiky, pretty flowers, spice bush, which we have grown here now for a few years, and then the blend of these things, and then the ways that we're going to try them. So I thought what would be fun is just like we do with wine tasting or cheese tasting, or recently with like tomato tasting and pepper tasting we also did. I found us some spice charts from the internet. So this is McCormick's Spice Wheel. We also found one from Curio Spice Company online. So I thought we would just use those as inspiration. Usually you want to try to balance flavors in a spice blend. So I did try to hit each one of those notes of like salty, sweet, a little earthy, a little vegetative. We're going to try to hit a lot of different notes with this to create a really balanced, complex blend that speaks to the flavor of this specific place, like the terroir of this place, as winemakers would call it. So some inspiration. We're going to try to figure out where on the spice wheel maybe these things would fit. Are they woody? Are they vegetal? Are they floral? Are they sweet? Are they pungent? Are they hot? So lots of different things on these spice wheels that'll give us some flavor inspiration. And then we're going to try them a couple different ways. So first, let's start with the Virginia pepperweed, which is, I also printed us off some little notes here so we can make notes about what we think of these spices. We're going to try them individually, maybe think about how we would use them. Now, Virginia pepperweed and spice bush, I've been using as a spice for a while now. But juniper berries is a new one to me this year. American Beautyberry, I've certainly never used as a spice before, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of spice it imparts in this blend. And then Monarda fistulosa, I usually use bee balms like the flowers or the leafy green parts. I usually use it as an herb, but to create a spice out of it, I collected the seeds because the seeds also have the flavor. The spice bush is just the pit of the seed, like the pit of the drupe that I have powdered. Because as you saw in one of the other videos, we made an oxymel out of the skin of the spice bush berry. So this is just the pit of that berry. So true spices, native to the Carolinas, true flavors of the Carolinas. So we'll start with Virginia pepperweed. This one I think you have tried before, so it'll be at the top of your list here. You're gonna see what it looks like. It's the greenest of the dried herbs. And that is the seed pod of the Virginia pepperweed. You can eat all of the Virginia pepperweed just like an herb at pretty much any stage of its life until it's dried and dead for the season. And this volunteers all over outside. So this one's a really easy one to find year round. Usually in spring. Yeah, we're just gonna taste a little bit. So Virginia pepperweed is a brassica. It's in the same family as arugula and cress and mustard and some of those spicier types of herbs. I will say that when we usually eat it fresh, and when we eat it fresh, it's usually got more of a kick. Yeah. This is more grassy, more vegetal than I usually think of it when I eat it fresh. Usually gives more of a spice. So that's interesting. It's not as concentrated. Some of these other spices, when dried, are more concentrated in flavor. This one seems like it lost a little bit of its spiciness.
I'm not really picking up on anything.
Yeah, it's kind of grassy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Virginia pepperweed, like I said, we know this one. This one is really great as a pepper substitute. If you use it with other sort of like lemony flavor things, like let's see, what is like wood sorrel.
Mm-hmm.
You can use Virginia pepperweed and wood sorrel to make like a lemon pepper type of spice blend. But yeah, yeah. So something briny with it would be really good. It's usually a much sharper, pungent.
Go fresh.
Yeah, go fresh with Virginia pepperweed. Noted. I've really never dried it and tried to use it that way before. So let's move on to wild bergamot, which is, again, this is bee balm, which is those like spiky rooster looking flowers that taste like oregano. I mean, I've heard them called minty. I don't really think, they're in the mint family, but it's very similar to oregano in my mind. And the seeds have the same flavor.
Ooh, I like that.
Oregano. Oregano. Yeah, that's the flavor. You like that?
I like that a lot.
It's like pizza seasoning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oregano, marjoram. It's very in that Italian seasoning blend note. So yeah, that one's good. It's good as the seed. I could definitely see using the seed exactly like you would use oregano in anything. But again, because we grow it here, we have so much fresh herb.
This is one you grew, or did it?
I grew all of this, yeah. The only thing I can't say I really grew is like the juniper, which is the trees that are the former homeowners planted here. Many, many years ago. Those trees are mature trees. They're probably 50 years old now. So, but everything grows here on this 3-acre permaculture project in Gaston County. So, really tasting the land here.
I like that a lot. Tasty.
Yeah, tasty. That left a really nice note. We have some crackers here to palate cleanse. If you would like to palate cleanse, we'll do a little water. And then we'll try. Okay, Eastern Red Cedar. This one might be a hard sell because it is, I would call it piney. Some people call it resinous. But if you get past that, cedar note, it's very woody, right? If you get past that, it gives this like tropical pina colada flavor to it. So these are the little blueberries. They're different dried. I think they're much more concentrated dried. I mean, that is clearly the most flavorful thing that's going to be on this.
Tastes like a Christmas tree. I would imagine a Christmas tree would taste.
So yeah, it's very piney, resinous. I think you get a little bit more of the fruity kind of berry flavors when you eat them fresh, but very concentrated flavor on that. Juniper berries are also a really strong diuretic. So this is a good one for us to just have around as a winter seasonal medicinal herb. So that's very strong. That's very strong. Let's palate cleanse after that.
Might need a moment.
There's so many things going on. It's floral, it's fruity, it's tropical, it's woody, it's piney.
Well, this can be ground into flour to make bread or cakes.
Right. So Eastern Red Cedar is our local native juniper, and juniper berries have been used by indigenous peoples across the United States, and in Europe and everywhere that juniper grows, everywhere that edible junipers grow, for any manner of things. So let's see. stuffings, meat, gravies, marinades, stews to flavor gin, to make sauerkraut. So you can use the berries as a canning spice, pickling spice. There's citrusy, there's just like a lot going on. And I think there's a European recipe that I want to try where they make a syrup out of it and then they put it like on ice cream. They use it as like a dessert syrup. It's like a blue syrup, really pretty dark blue syrup. And then, several indigenous American tribes use it for medicinal purposes, use it for traditional culinary purposes. So lots of recipes to try with this one. But it is very strong. I think it would be used very sparingly. And as I said, because it is a strong medicinal, again, you're not going to be eating a handful of these anytime soon. So, all right, juniper berries. That was good. Very strong. All right, now this one, spice bush. You know this one because we've tried this one many times over the years. Spice bush is what I thought of right away when I thought spices native to the Carolinas. It's in the name. It is sort of an iconic spice to the southeastern U.S. And it's really versatile because it can go savory, it can go sweet. It's like allspice. I think of it as like a warming spice, like a fall spice. And it is a fall spice. I mean, it ripens in September. So
is this the one I use for my simple syrup?
Yes, for cocktails. Yes, good point. Yeah, this is sweet. What did we use? I think maybe like cinnamon. So we used it like in place of allspice in a fall spice blend for a craft cocktail a few years ago. Really good. Thank you for remembering that. Yeah. And it's good for baked goods. We've done like muffins before. So it's a really versatile spice, and this is probably going to be my favorite that's up here, if I can pick a favorite. It's got a black pepper note, citrusy, allspice, a warming spice. I wonder if we can see where we would fit this on this spice wheel. I think it definitely falls in that pungent area. It's a warming, aromatic spice, citrusy. So there's a lot going on with that one. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Not sure. I think the juniper is still lingering.
Juniper is strong. The juniper is strong.
Cleanse a little bit more.
Do a little bit more palate cleansing.
But I know this one is good.
Mm-hmm. All right, I thought we would end with the raw tasting with the American Beautyberry, which was the inspiration for this to begin with. American Beautyberry is kind of flavorless in terms of a berry. There are subtle notes, but it does have a berry note, so it has a sweetness to it. But then there's this really subtle undertone of, as someone put it on the internet, of Chinese five spice. So it's just this sort of like exotic spice flavor. But it's not exotic. It is native to the US. Now this one, I think the sweetness really gets concentrated because that just tastes like a freeze-dried berry.
Yeah.
No, you do get a little bit of that note on the back end of the spice. I think in terms of a balance, now like when I made this blend, I just put equal parts of each spice in it because this is all new, right? This is alchemy that I'm inventing right now. So who knows how these are going to work together. But I think that in future iterations, I'd probably use less juniper berry because I can already tell it's a strong note.
I'm still tasting the juniper.
I will say that the beautyberries, I feel like I could eat those out of hand, like as a dried berry. That was tasty. That could go in oatmeal or...
I didn't really pick up anything until like the very end.
It is subtle, and it is a concentrated flavor when it's dried, unlike the Virginia pepperweed. So that one kind of hits the sweet note. It has a little bit of a spiciness to it. A really nice flavor. Honestly, I think I could eat that in a lot of different things. Yeah, good texture, good flavor. Okay, so that was the 5 spices raw. What was your favorite?
Well, probably the spice bush.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in terms of a spice bush wins. In terms of which one of these would I eat a jar of, probably the beautyberries.
Yeah.
But that's the idea of a spice, right? Is
Yeah.
that we're using it sparingly and just to flavor food.
And I think the Monarda fistulosa was
Mhm.
probably my second.
Right, strong oregano flavor. It's
Yeah.
really palatable. We eat a lot of that as an herb, like the leafy green parts and the flowers are also all flavored like oregano. So really beautiful, versatile herb. That is a native that grows in North Carolina. We have a couple of different varieties that grow here, a couple of different varieties of Monardas. So that one's really great for different culinary purposes. But yeah, I think that the juniper berry is very pungent, very powerful, would need to be used extremely sparingly. So, all right. So the way that I thought we would do this, rather than like bite into the spice blend, I did kind of want to show off what the spice blend looks like, if I can, so that because everyone can see in the foraging album what this looks like individually. As a blend, it becomes sort of a green brown powder. And what I did, rather than tasting the powder, because I thought that might be a little unpalatable, I made a tea of it. So this is just tea. There is nothing, no sugar or honey or lemon juice or any other thing added to it. This is just the pure spice blend.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it. I really do. The juniper is the top note. The allspice comes through. The spice bush comes through very strong. I should say, for those who haven't seen the video, when we're talking about spice bush, we're talking about Lindera benzoin, which is a native plant here, native shrub here in the Carolinas. I don't taste the Virginia pepperweed at all, which I think it would be interesting to try fresh in this blend. With a little honey, I think that would be nice. Yeah. And that's exactly what we have also. So I thought it would be interesting to try the different, different methods of extraction and see how that shifts the flavor profile. So I tried a Carolina 5-spiced honey. So we can try a little bit of that on a cracker. And then I also tried a Carolina 5-spice olive oil with a little bit of salt in it too. So we'll see how salt and fat versus sweet with the honey shift the flavors of the blend. But I thought we would just start with just the...
Well, for the purposes of the tea, I think the amount of juniper you put in was perfect.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't overpower it or anything.
For the purpose of the tea. Yeah. And there's, like I said, there's nothing in this. So that's a good indicator that the other spices balanced out that strong juniper note.
This is plain, no nothing.
Yeah.
Sugar,
no sugar.
Wow, that's really good.
Thank you. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's different, and like that was kind of the whole point of becoming a forager, right? Is on one hand, it's about accessibility and environmental impact of trying to reduce my carbon footprint by eating what is accessible and free to me here. And that was really what inspired a lot of the permaculture design was, foraging experience here in the southeastern U.S. and what can we grow here that will grow like a weed, that will then feed us and feed the wildlife and support the ecosystem. So that's a big part of why I got into foraging, but also because I want to taste all the things. I had read once that there's something like 400,000 edible plants, there's 400,000 known species of plants in the world. And about 300,000 of those are edible to humans. And what we eat is like less than 200 of those plants worldwide. And if you go to our grocery stores, there's like 40 of those plants that you can have access to. So when you forage, we're literally tasting things that we don't have access to. I mean, we do because they're in our backyard, right? Yeah. But we don't have access to them in the grocery store. We don't know what they are. And, I want to taste all the things. This is the spice of life, literally. This is the purpose of life is to try all the things. And so I think it's really exciting to try this spice blend as it's something new, right? Each one of these is a new flavor, and then the blend together is just something I've never tried before, which is exciting.
And from a medicinal This has medicinal.
A lot of medicinal purposes, yeah. The juniper is probably one of the strongest of the medicinals, but every single one of these has some medicinal properties as an herb and as a spice. So really exciting to think about having these on hand for different things. I could absolutely see a simple syrup of the spice blend because it did turn out to be somewhat of a warming fall spice flavor.
Holiday
and with the
cocktails.
juniper holiday cocktails. I could very much see this as a holiday cocktail, simple syrup. So we'll look into that. Speaking of which, well, I think we should end on the honey because that's a sweet note. So that'll be like a dessert. But here, let's try the, this is the olive oil. It's a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil. So, I mean, like, especially with like the things that I hadn't tried as a spice before, like the juniper berry, I wasn't sure, would it be better with sugar? Would it be better with salt? You know, like you think about something like cinnamon with salt, cinnamon with sugar, yay. So we're going to try it. We're going to see. So this
I'm a little scared about the juniper.
In the olive oil and the salt? I don't think we should be. I think it's going to be, because the olive oil will mellow it out a bit too. So I'm just going to put some on your thing here. We can dip a little cracker in it.
I trust you.
I mean, if you like the tea, you know, but again, it's sweet versus sour or sweet versus salty. Who knows how this is going to shift the flavor profile of this. So, all right, let's try this.
I think the olive oil was kind of overtaking.
It's a really robust olive oil, yeah.
Maybe
try that again.
more seasoning.
I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a stir. And try that again. There you go. So we can see, yeah, there's more of the spice on there.
I mean, it's good.
I'll have to try that bloomed, like heated, to see how that shifts a bit. I would say that I think this spice blend lends more towards the sweet. I could see it as a, maybe if you added the umami to it, if you added some mushroom powder to it. I wasn't sure how purists would feel about adding mushrooms to a spice blend. So technically fungi and its whole own plant family, or not plants at all, its own family. So
it was good.
It was good. It was not my favorite.
I just don't know if it was just purely because of the olive oil.
Right, it's fat and salt. You're tasting the fat and salt. Yeah. You taste a little bit of the juniper and the allspice. I don't know that I'm getting a lot of the Monarda. You know, some of the other things get a little lost. The beautyberry, I don't think I'm getting any of that. But it would be interesting to try this bloomed. Yeah. So to put it in a skillet, give it a little heat. I think, and like I said, maybe a little more umami with a mushroom powder or something else.
Experiment with the portions.
Yeah. But all in all, I mean, I think with a blend that kind of lands as a fall spice, like a pumpkin pie spice or an allspice nutmeg, you know, kind of thing, it lends more towards sweet.
This tea might be my new favorite thing.
Yay, that's so exciting. I think you're going to like the honey too. Okay, let's try the honey. All right, we're going to be smart and put the cracker down first. And then we're going to try some of this spiced honey. This looks really good. And I feel like sugar is like the one thing that was missing from this because it does kind of, you know, give that fall spice. All right. Okay, try that.
I'm going to give
show the honey. Yeah, you want to show the honey? Let's see. So you can see it's that spiced spice blend, which turned out to be rather finely powdered. I did put that in a spice grinder It's like a coffee grinder. I use it as a spice grinder. It works really well. And gave it a good powdering so that it is like really a single consistency and something thin enough that could be used like a spice in the future. All right, cheers.
Is that the juniper again that I'm picking up? It's delicious though.
The juniper really is the strongest note, followed immediately thereafter by the spice bush. But I'm not getting a lot. I mean, the beautyberry probably imparts a lot of sweetness that we're just not noting. I'm not getting any of the Monarda. I don't know why. I think, again, I just did equal parts of this. So, equal parts of each spice.
It's competing with some pretty
some stronger characters here. So yeah, I think you want some more? Yeah. So yeah, I think sweet is the way to go. I think sweet is right.
Yeah.
Tea is right. I'm gonna put a little of this honey in the tea. I bet that's gonna be good. Still on the spoon. I'm gonna just leave that one in there. So that concludes our taste testing. I'm really excited to see that you like the tea. Thank you for being adventurous and brave and trying these out with me. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you will check out the foraging playlist for the shorts that I did for each one of these. It shows you how I harvested them, how I dehydrated them or prepared them for preservation to be shelf stable for at least another couple of months in the pantry. The spice bush stays in the fridge, so the blend is going to have to stay in the fridge. The spice bush is really oily, and so it can go rancid in the pantry. So the blend itself and the honey and the oil are now going to go in the fridge to help them, be preserved. And now we're on to think about next year, and we're going to think about what other spices we will add to this in the future, because there are several that I would have added if I'd had access to them this year. Sumac is a big one. Sumac actually shows up in the archaeological record, unlike all of these, which I think is kind of weird. In North Carolina, the indigenous peoples of the North Carolina Piedmont region, at least through the woodland period, through the historic period, there's been extensive paleoethnobotany done on North Carolina. And I guess just culturally, these things were not the things that were top of the list, or they weren't found in most archaeological sites. The two that do show up are sumac, and then things in the Persicaria genus like knotweed or Pennsylvania smartweed, things like that, those like pink flowered Persicarias that are spicy. They're similar to Virginia pepperweed. I'd put that in that sort of like spicy note. There are some mushrooms that are spicy that I've, if we find those next year, we could add this, dry those and add this to the blend. So there's lots of different things I could think to add to the blend next year, different ways to tweak this and try these. But I would love to hear from you all. What do you forage? Do you forage for herbs and spices? What would you add to this blend? Tell me your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And we will see you all next time. Thank you for joining us. Bye.